Last year, Dodge teased us with this mystery vehicle during EV Day, but what is it? An EV Charger, the next Challenger, or maybe a Cuda that some Dodge fans have a problem with because it's not a Plymouth. But I've said for months that I believe this is a Cuda EV convertible that'll slay the Tesla Model S Plaid, that'll make strange noises, and have up to 1,300 horsepower. But what if I told you I found more evidence to support this vehicle being a Cuda, and even found its sister car that is coming from Maserati of all places? So let's revisit the 2024 Cuda EV and even the Alfa Romeo based next-gen Charger in this video. To get you up to speed, watch these previous videos going over this car. In the Cuda EV video, this is where I made the case for this car being a convertible Cuda EV. Long story short, from that video, Dodge was able to get a trademark for the Cuda after trying for years. The Cuda could have up to 1,300 horsepower in a tri-motor configuration. You hear an electronic sound while the Cuda is doing a four-wheel burnout, and there's a strange object moving behind the car that could be a convertible top retracting. And even in my trademark video, I made the case that this car could be called a couple different names, ranging from the Cuda to the Avenger, and even a rebirth of the Demon name as an EV. But Dodge said there were 3 Easter eggs in the Cuda video that were hidden.
There's a lot more in that video than you see at the surface. I tell everybody there's 3 hints in that video. And so far, people have figured out one.
Tim Knisis confirmed last year that all-wheel drive was one of the Easter eggs, but also recently hinted that based on research, their customers want to do burnouts and donuts in an electric vehicle. So it looks like we'll have the ability to do something that a lot of us Trackhawk and TRX owners can't do because of our full-time all-wheel drive setup in both those vehicles. Now, Easter egg number 2, I said last year that there would be noisy EV motors, and Dodge recently confirmed as well that it would happen. So it looks like I got that Easter egg right. I played a clip from Formula E in my Cuda video that could be what we hear from these new vehicles, but I recently found a clip from Stellantis that I'll get to in a few minutes of what these new Dodge EVs could sound like. And the third Easter egg, I believe, is a convertible top. Dodge is the only member of the big 3 that does not offer a convertible muscle car in their lineup. The Challenger would have made a great convertible, but it wasn't feasible to offer it because the platform wasn't designed for it, and FCA spent years basically neglecting Dodge. But making a convertible Cuda has been on Dodge's mind for at least the last several years, but not getting a trademark and it being too expensive to adopt the LX platform that the Challenger sits on are some of the problems of why we never got it, which would explain the rumors for years that Dodge gonna move over to a shared platform that it, Jeep, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati would share for some of their models. And this will allow Stellantis to share development costs for a variety of vehicles, from rear-wheel drive muscle cars to crossover and to even convertibles now. If you guys remember this article from 7 years ago about a dealer conference in Vegas, FCA previewed the models that will come out in the next several years, and the most interesting thing about this old article is that every single vehicle that it talked about in 2015 has since came out. An updated Wrangler that is similar to its previous gen, the Grand Wagoneer that just came out last year. In 2018, that's when we finally saw the Jeep Trackhawk, a Jeep Wrangler-based pickup truck that we all know now as the Gladiator in 2019, and the Alfa Romeo SUVs, Stelvio and Tonale, that will later come out after this article. Then they talked about the next-gen Charger and Challenger that was based on the Alfa Romeo platform. With the hints that Dodge put in the Cuda video and the trademark they recently gained, it looks like a convertible Cuda has been on Dodge's radar since at least 2015 and is now a very possibility. And now the Cuda EV could even have a sister car that come out around the same time in 2023 from Maserati. The timing for these new vehicles coming from Dodge, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati makes a lot of sense when you compare it to the timeline that Dodge has laid out. The Alfa Romeo Tonale and the Dodge Hornet come out around the same time for the 2020 model year, but it's no surprise because Alfa Romeo is going to make the Hornet for Dodge and import it to the US. Also, Alfa Romeo hints that the updated Giulia will come around 2024, around the same time that Dodge says the next generation Challenger and Charger will come. But I think the Challenger will be more related to the Maserati Gran Turismo and the Grand Cabrio that come out in 2023, since that model has a 2-door and a convertible option. The next gen Charger, Challenger, Giulia, and Gran Turismo will all ride on a version of the Stellantis platform, and even Ralph Gillis confirmed that they are working on all these vehicles together, and their goal is to cut developmental costs.
The Stellantis platform has outstanding fundamentals. allowing for a variety of wheel sizes, suspension heights, and widths. All these components are out of the way, allowing us to do just about whatever we want on the top surface. Now we're working on these vehicles together, which allows us to share some of the most costly components in a way never before done. So 8 vehicles are now being created that will come to market in the next 3 to 5 years. But that's just the beginning.
If you guys checked out this Viper video, I talked about how Dodge could have Maserati develop the next-gen Viper in their virtual lab to keep a tight lid on it, and now the possibility of the next-gen Challenger. Now, I don't expect the Cuda EV to be a separate model from the Challenger, but rather just a high-spec EV trim for the Challenger. Kind of like how now we have Hellcats, Super Stocks, Demons, Red Eyes for the Challenger model. This is how I expect the Cuda EV. And that is the model supposed to go on sale in 2024. But if the Cuda EV is supposed to go on sale in 2024, it needs to have most of the testing done in the next 15 months in order to go on sale towards the end of 2023. So Dodge is in a time crunch and needs to decide what they're going to do about Brampton, where the current Charger, Challenger, and 300 is made. I've covered in previous videos that Dodge wanted to move production of the Challenger and Charger to the US, but that most likely was because of Biden was going to give EVs produced by US auto unions a tax break. But now with this off the table because of Biden's stalled agenda, Stellantis has rubbed Unifor the wrong way to where they issued a warning to Dodge if they were to move production from the plant. Now, one idea I thought of is if Dodge go ahead and name this car Cuda, they can technically move it from Brampton and not move Challenger production. It could either build this at the Belvedere plant that's been sitting idle for a while, or could even use Maserati to build it just like Alfa Romeo will build a Hornet for Dodge. But we will see big contract news this year because the Stellantis platform has to be installed somewhere, and Brampton, Belvedere, or Maserati is going to have to build this car within the next 20 months. Last year, Ralph Gillis said that other vehicles from the Stellantis platform will show up in 3 to 5 years, and Tim Knis's only promise that this vehicle, the world's fastest Dodge, will show up in 2024, basically giving Dodge until 2026 to bring the Charger, and I even throw in the 300 since it will return as well to the market. I don't see a problem with the Durango EV, but another possibility is that they will move the Durango to the Mack plant where the Grand Cherokee is made, and could potentially make the Challenger, the Charger, and the 300 at JNAP. So we have 4 possibilities of where these 3 vehicles could be made at, but Stellantis has to make a decision soon because Dodge promised to never lift, and it seems like they still haven't got started yet. Just saying. Just looking at the spot shots for the Gran Turismo, it seems pretty close to the images shown for the next-gen Charger, Challenger, and even 300. A long rear glass layout, a short deck leg for the trunk, sleek swooping design. If you look at the current version of the Giulia, it looks very close to the images that we've seen for the next generation Charger and 300. It's almost like they took the Giulia and designed the next gen Charger off of it. And remember when I said earlier that Dodge confirmed that they were going to make noisy EVs? What if I told you that Maserati actually released a video a year before Dodge did and confirmed that they were working on an EV with the same noisy EV motors? And what's the first fully electric vehicle coming from Maserati? You guessed it. The Gran Turismo and the Gran Cabrio convertible coming next year. With Stellantis' parts and platform sharing between brands, this gives me hope that other vehicles like the Viper can make a comeback, but that's the story from my other videos. To me, the only thing that's uncertain is the name. Cuda, Challenger, Avenger can all be used, but this vehicle having a convertible option, tri-motor all-wheel drive, and noisy EV motors, I'm sure will be on the world's fastest Dodge that we'll see the next couple months. We would have seen one of the Dodge's EVs last year, but because the patents are still pending, this is why we haven't seen or heard much about the EV models. Now, a perfect day I feel for Dodge to unveil the Cuda EV will be April 11th. Now, why I say April 11th? Because that will be the 5-year anniversary of the previous fastest Dodge ever to be unveiled, the Demon. I just hope when we hear these noisy EV motors that they can be turned off, because I don't want to hear Batman's Tumbler every time I want to drive somewhere. A lot of us had to live with the dreaded Hemi tick that Dodge and now even Ram have refused to fix, so please make a solid move for this particular vehicle that I think is going to be in the $130K price range of the Tesla Model S Plaid that it has to compete against. But let me know what you guys think. Will this be the first convertible in what seems like an eternity? Do you like the idea of replacing the Hemi tick for an EV wine? Or the idea of a $100K plus price range for a Dodge that isn't a Viper? And that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you leave me a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And until the next video, I'm out.